Welcome back to Sports Vision. Joining me right now, it is indeed a pleasure. The man, the myth, the legend, one of the greatest football players to have ever come from the Chattahoochee Valley area, Mr. Otis Sistrunk. Welcome to Sports Vision.
Well, DJ, it's a pleasure to be back here one more time and moving back to Columbus. I'm looking forward to doing this today.
I'm excited, man, because I've been chasing you down since the Super Bowl, the last Super Bowl, and I know you've been busy making transition, coming back to the area, man, and I know you just happy. You got to be happy to come back home.
Well, it's nice to come back to Columbus, and I'm going to be here for a while. And my wife passed last year, so it was good to get back with my family and a lot of my friends.
Otis, and I got to call you the man from Mars. Let's start over, because there's some folks out there, that young generation, that young culture that I was telling you about that probably know the name, have probably seen some of the old movies and some of the old clips, maybe even from the Raiders and to even in your wrestling days. But let's go back and let's talk about how this thing got started in Columbus, Georgia.
What, the wrestling or the football?
The football.
The football, it was, playing at Marshall Jr. and Wells Spencer Jr. and moving on up to Spencer. We had some of the best coaches around here. To me, it was when you had Otis Spencer, you had Lindsey. I'm standing back, and you had Mr. Works, and then you had Mr. Holloway. So, you had some good people that used to work with me. I tell a lot of folks on the West Coast that Mr. Spencer was harder to me than John Madden.
Let's fast forward a little bit, because I know that I'm not going to have nearly enough time to do all that I want to do, but we're going to probably get you back. But for the sake of this segment, let's talk to those people out there, because, again, today, big-time college football, pro and college, there's a system. You have to go from high school, and you have to be a 4 or 5 blue-chip athlete in high school to get to the colleges. And, again, get this, folks, this man did not play college football, but he ended up being an all-pro in the National Football League, playing 7 years for the Oakland Raiders. How in the world did you transition from high school to the National Football League?
Well, DJ, I tell you, it's tough, and I don't tell no kids to try to go to the NFL without going to college. I left Columbus and I went and lived in Wisconsin to play basketball, and I started growing and I got a little bigger. So then I got a chance to play in Norfolk, Virginia, and that league, I outgrew the league because I was the defensive lineman of the year, player of the year. So I wanted to go in the NFL, and I had a friend of mine that was a scout for the Los Angeles Rams, and when he asked me about coming to the Rams, and I said, yeah, I don't mind coming. And he said, well, I got a chance because I think you can make the team. So I went to the Rams, and I played for them. I was with them for 2 weeks, and then I got traded to Oakland because the Raiders see me playing, and they said, well, what college you go to? I said, I didn't go to college. So John Madden made a mistake and said, you think you can make it? I said, I think I can do anything I want to do. Is that my grandmother used to always say, you put it on your mind and put the good Lord in front of you, you can do anything you wanted to do. And so I went to the Raiders, and one good story is I remember the first exhibition game, and John Madden asked me a question. He said, which position do you think you can play the best? I said, I could play all 4 of them good. So he said, well, who you think you is? I said, well, I'm just Otis. He said, well, so he gave me a chance that I played all 4 positions, and that Sunday morning he asked me, he said, now, you proved to me you can play all 4 positions. Which one do you really want to play? Then I come back and think about Mr. Spencer. I play wherever you want to play as long as the Raiders winning.
So obviously being able to play all these positions. And you mentioned basketball. You went to Wisconsin and played basketball initially.
Well, it was AAA basketball they had in around Chicago, and I got the win of it. It was like the AAA basketball, one step down from the NBA. And I talked to Wes Unseld, and he said, well, you can go and play with Goodyear or Firestone. I said, oh, okay, well, I'll try that. So I started gaining weight. The guy got me a tryout with football.
The bottom line, you were a tremendous athlete to be able to play basketball and, of course, 4 positions in football and to excel. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. You played for the legendary Al Davis, and also you played with the legendary Kenny Stabler, who most recently passed away. Give me a few good stories.
See, Jay, the thing about it is you call him Al Davis. I call him Mr. Davis because he was my boss. And, Al Davis and John Madden and all the guys that, and playing with Kenny Stabler, I hated because Kenny passed here about 2 weeks ago. and I wanted to go to the funeral, but they had a private funeral. But Mr. Davis was a very good owner, and John Madden was a very good coach. But John Madden was kind of coach. He used to use the term, "Don't worry about the mule being blind, just keep loading the wagon." So that means don't worry about the guy in front of you to block you, just go get the quarterback. So my job was get to the quarterback. Everybody said I was a dirty football player, but I thought I was a good football player and just went out there and worked hard.
Well, Otis, I tell you what, man, I'm not going to let you off that easy because football season is just starting. So you're going to be a regular guest here on Sports Vision if you'll have us.
Well, I have time. I'm going to fly. I'm glad you got me today because I fly out next Tuesday to Seattle. So I have just left Seattle working for the Army. So I wanted to come back. Now I did go back to Seattle and see a lot of friends, and but I'm gonna be in the area, and we got a big game this weekend, Carver, Spencer, and that was this is gonna be my first one, and I want to do a good thing, and I'm giving you on TV, inviting you to the house Thursday night. By 4 o'clock, we're going to have catfish.
All right, I'll be there, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Otis Sistrunk. He'll be back with more. We'll be right back.